Thanks a lot for giving me this opportunity to talk. I'm privileged and honored to be a part of such a prestigious institute. I was listening to Nita Ambani's talk where she mentioned very nice about India, saying that 16 Nobel laureates from this institute, Dr. Ambedkar from here, Dr. Manmohan Singh, our Prime Minister in the honorary of our website, and K.R. Nanan, the President of India, was also a part. So she said that a lot of souls were walking all around. So taking blessings from them and starting my talk. Before I talk, I would like to thank Dr. Ruth Kutmari, who has supported this initiative of mine on a larger extent. And thanks for giving me a chance to speak on today's occasion. So we'll start with my presentation today. So I'll just move to the little bit talk of why and how. So as she mentioned, that is the integrated approach for sustainable networking for a Solapur city. I come from the hometown. I came back after 14 years to Solapur, and after doing a research for nearly 6 months, we understood some problems do exist and there is a best solution which exists, and what is the proper solution to be given. So my talk will try to address these issues on a larger base. So let's go with the first slide. Mark Twain, who is one of the America's very rich author and a humorist, he puts up his statement in such a way that the human's clothing is best called skin, but society needs something else. So that is what Mark Twain starts with his quote. So starting with this quote, and why textile industry is necessary, why we have taken the area, and what are the problems faced and how to deal with that. So this talk of mine will deal this in a different issues. So if we start with the second point, where we say that textile sector in 2012 will be 700 billion US dollars. So that's quite huge. And coming to the second point, India, the third largest cotton producing after China, and then second largest production of cotton yarn, which is used for developing a textile. So that's one of our basic needs: food, clothing and shelter. So clothing is a part of it. And then if we talk about one more point, which says that 25% of market share of the world for cotton yarn is held by India. So there is a huge opportunity which do exist, and this case study we are putting up tries to address these issues. And the textile sector provides lot of employment to the people. So for this reason, as it is one of the richest producing employment for many people around for the peri-urban areas, and India been ranking second on this issue. So I take this as my motivation and move across towards my second slide. Coming to the second slide, here I put up some important facts and figures. The textile is characteristic by some of the issues, like it is unreliable and unsustainable due to market fluctuations. When the market collapses, yes, it also gets affected. And the second thing what we are trying to see, that in India, or specifically at many places in India, we are talking about sustainable textile product is not yet been seen. If you go to the Primark or anything, we have a tag which shows that whether the product is made of what ingredient. So that kind of concept is still coming in India. So that is what it is characterized by. And this textile industry, obviously in the research what is there, what we have concluded that it has led to some different aspects like water problem, air problem, land reclamation and other things. So taking all together, there is a problem, there is a research which can be focused on that basis what we have done or what we have come out. So that is what I just gave a brief introduction of why I chose textile sector, and now I'll tell you why we have chosen Solapur. So these are the problems, this is the best things, and this is a little bit on the other side. Presentation outline looks big, but I will try to put it together. The outline looks big, but the factors what we are addressing are very critical. For example, the first one, we talk about the objective, we come out with a little bit of methodology. We talk about climate impact assessment. Definitely climate change is there, and which is very important for every human being, and how it has affected the district. Now we look at on a macro scale. I am trying to bring it on a smaller thing called on a very small micro scale. So where we talk about is environmental indicators, where we talk about air, which is our breathing element, we talk about water, we talk about land and agriculture, we talk about socioeconomic aspects, we talk about biodiversity, and finally we also talk about the health and safety issues. And then, is there a solution if exists, and is there a business case out of it? So yes, the problem is there. Okay, helping in social terms is one thing, and then creating a business case out of it is a different thing. So we have tried to put up a business case when I will be putting up some points to you at the last, telling that how it is different from others and what is the learning out of it. So and finally I will conclude with my conclusion. It looks big. I'll try to make my seminar or presentation a little bit more entertaining, or putting up some real facts which you might like in the near future. Coming to the objectives, first was to review different adopted techniques in India. Definitely we talked about in India, and then we moved little bit of abroad. When the data was not available in India, we took some examples of outside world also to put up that fact. Then we identified the different impact factors which are impacting environment, health, safety and biodiversity, and possibly we came out with a framework, analysis framework, which helps for an integrated sustainable approach on different scales. So overall looking to this, and finally we suggest some policies and other things to our district level planners who are doing it. So these are my objectives, what I will be talking about, or this is my roadmap which we have worked for nearly 3 months or so. Questions if you have, you can stop me and ask me, or in the end when I finish my presentation you can take the question answer at that session. The methodology adopted was we selected a region. I'll tell you the rationale for selecting the Solapur as a main region, and then we moved up with some the data was available. I was talking to Dr. Ruth also on a larger scale, that the data is available, but what data has to be taken and what data has to be rejected depends on the detailed analysis work has to be involved. So qualitative and quantitative data we assumed with our things. Then similarly factors for impact factors for different things were analyzed, and finally we made with an analysis of a framework, a model framework called a sustainable networking model, which helps to solve the problem. Okay, coming down to we talked about the textile sector on a larger scale. We talked about what are the factors what textile industry is affecting. Then we come across one thing called rationale. Why Solapur city? Why not another city you are choosing? Why Solapur city? Solapur city has textile industries for more than 100 years. Solapur city was once called Manchester of India, where a lot of textile industries were there. Because of some reasons in 1960s, 70s and 80s, some industries got closed down. But still, Solapur has 25,000 power looms, a city having 25,000 power looms and more than 0.1 million people working for that. 0.1 million, so 25,000. So every citizen is attached to the textile industry, one or the other. That is what the glimpse of things what we have come out. So that was a rationale, and I've been from Solapur, work in Volchand, so that also provided me opportunity to take Solapur for data collection and other things. So what is the problem right now in Solapur? What is the facing problem is the effluent treatment, means whatever the waste coming from the textile industry is not treated, it is left out, or it has been treated but it is not been taken care. So such kind of things are seen. So taking this as a whole as one problem, we chose Solapur as one of the important city which can be taken for the research at the Asian Research Center. Just to a glimpse, where does this stand? Solapur stands, this is the India map. Solapur is the extreme towards the Maharashtra. It is the extreme part of Maharashtra which is near to the border of 3 states, adjoining states, the Karnataka and Andhra Pradesh. So Hyderabad, the capital of Andhra Pradesh, is just 4 to 5 hours from Solapur. Bombay is just 6 hours from Solapur, and Pune is just 3 to 4 hours from Solapur. So all the headquarters are situated near to Solapur. So Solapur has become a junction. It's a railway junction. An international airport is coming, and thanks to Ministry of Power, Sushil Kumar Shinde, who is also bringing National Thermal Power Corporation, which is called the NTPC in Solapur. And
what's the distance to Bangalore?
The distance from Bangalore is 700 kilometers. From Bangalore it is around 700 kilometers a night journey, and there is a train which runs every day Solapur to Bombay, Bangalore. A train which runs every day from Solapur to Bangalore. So it is well connected to it. We have an international airport which is coming up. Solapur has 11 blocks, a very good pilgrimage place. All people across India come to these places for three gods, that is Pandharpur, Akkalkot and Tuzapur. These are the people from India might be knowing this on a larger scale. It's a technology university. Technology consists of all science, engineering, economics, arts, everything. So that is what I'll be talking that in the later stages of the university stuff. I can give you more glimpse on that. So this is what consists of 11 blocks, 11 talukas, 150 or 1150 villages across. So considered to be a rural district, but now on the verge of urbanization on a larger scale. So this is what the case of Solapur, where it looks like, where it stays. This data we have taken it from a meteorological data, collected the data, put together. So this is taken from a GIS maps and from other research papers, what we have come across. So there are 4 graphs which are talking about temperature, rainfall, precipitation and aridity. Precipitation is moisture, aridity is dryness factor in the weather. If you see the temperature of Solapur is rising. I have taken a data from 1990 to 2010 because I cannot put from 1980 because otherwise it will be a very cumbersome chart. So putting from 1990 to 2010. So you can see that graph, the temperature is rising. So definitely when the temperature rises, our clothing habit differ. The cropping pattern do change. So surely there is a glimpse of climate change which might be occurring. The second thing, the precipitation is coming down and the rainfall, huge dip in the rainfall. The variation of the rainfall is coming down and up. So this tells us there is a possible change which is occurring and which has to be taken care right now, not in the later phase. So taking this into the whole picture, I will be talking how this climate has affected on 3 or the 4 things what we talked about. The air quality, the water quality, then we talk about socio-economic impacts and also some biodiversity and land and agricultural impact, how it has occurred. And you tell me whether the impact has occurred or not from the presentation, and then we will put up some possible solutions, and I am looking forward for feedbacks from you also so that we can incorporate in the research and put it on a larger scale. One more important thing, where Solapur ranked one of the 17 cities in India of the most polluted list, including from Bombay, Delhi and other metropolitan cities in India. Solapur ranked one of the 17 cities of the most polluted cities in India. So this was a 2007, that is Center for Pollution Control Board and Ministry of Environmental Forest took it very seriously, and they started called as National Ambient Air Quality Monitoring at the 2 stations at Solapur. One is installed at the base station called as at the Volchand Institute of Technology, where they monitor different parameters like nitrous oxide, SO2, SPM, that is suspended particulate matter, RSPM is respirable suspended particulate matter. So they try to measure this, and they are doing it from past 2005 2001, and if you see, this has been done, but what has happened is everything has come down, but the SPM is still above the limit. It's above the limit. The reason, the possible reason is the suspended particles which are there in the air. So what kind of suspended particles are there in the air? There are like cotton particles, as I mentioned, there are a lot of power looms across. So there is a lot of cotton particles which are suspended in the air. Second, dust. Third, the roads which are leading towards that, because once the rain comes or something, the roads get disturbed and vehicles move across and the dust particulate comes into air. So the possible reason of this is a combination of these three things.
So has there been a move to improve the SPM?
Yes, there is now the results, now it has been seen.
Yeah.
So they will try to implement it, but the reason what we are trying to find it out is not yet clear, because this station is situated in the city. The monitoring station is in the city where only the vehicles move across, and the textile industries are 4 to 5 kilometers away from it.
So it's not giving an accurate measure.
It is giving accurate measure at that point.
As in, of the whole city.
Of the whole city, yes. Yeah. So therefore I said that the monitoring station should be there also within the industrial area. So to understand the facts of two things, whether it is the suspended particulate matter is because of the industry or because of the vehicle movement. So such kind of study has not been seen. So the what we talked about in industries, the air pollution might be, as I said, cotton industry is a industry where you can see cotton is flowing up on a hazard. It is light in the air, it just moves across. So such kind of study has not been seen in any part of Solapur city. So I said limited or no, hardly any study has been seen. The combination of two will definitely give the answer for the question, and then precautionary measures or remedial measures can be taken prior to that or after that.
Can I ask?
Sure, please.
I think part of the pollution problem in a factory is the level of technology that is working in the textile industry. I mean, there is a technology that can absorb all these cotton.
Very true, very true.
Particles. And this is part of the labor, of the working conditions.
Yes.
I mean, if the conditions are too low or too bad, they don't take care about the cotton particles.
Yes.
I mean, they don't choose, they don't pay for the right technology to absorb the cotton that flies around and inhales every worker in the factory. And I wonder, if they've got in the factories the right technology. I mean, so they can absorb the cotton and the noise. There are two things, because there is technology that can, I have seen it exists.
Yes.
This kind of technology, and you buy the technology from which country? European, American? I mean, which firm gives you the machinery in a way?
Thanks for your information. Surely that is one of the needed approach what we are talking about. But if the industry is 60 years old, 60 years old, it becomes very difficult for an renovation or a renovation into total factors. That factors depend on different abilities. So we suggest that district planners and other people should motivate them, because they are small scale industries. They are not like huge.
That's what's being suggested by the study, but through the analysis of the existing levels.
Yeah.
And I think, and that's the importance of the study as well, to inform the policymakers that this can be done. Exactly the point that you were making.
So we are trying to provide that solution in the possible solution what we have put up in the presentation.
Yeah.
So that question definitely taken as a very valid question, and probable answer to that would be my last slide, or prior to last slide, called a possible solution to the problem.
Yeah.
So I might answer your question during that time in a very elaborate manner.
Yeah. Okay.
Coming to the second point, called as we finished about the water. Sorry, we finished about the air in the first instant. I told about what is the quality of air within the city which is prevailing. Now coming to the second basic commodity is water. So if you see,
are you able to see the slides from there? Can you? Okay.
second commodity what we are looking at is the water. Water is the basic again commodity which has to be taken care. So it says that we are talking about two things here. The groundwater regime. One is we depend on groundwater, and second is on surface water. within the city, which comes under the municipal corporation, similar as London, we get water directly from a purifier, which has been purification done, and directly comes to your house. But the people who are staying in the outskirts of the city, they either pump the water from the ground or from the wells. That has been done. A very nice study was conducted in 2009, which stated a very prominent issue, which puts up two things. It says that the groundwater regime within the city has increased and groundwater regime outside the city has decreased. The reason is that people are more dependent on water. The people outside the city are more dependent on water from the underground systems, and people within the city are more dependent on the surface water, which is getting at their home by a municipal corporation. But the reason which states that the water which is there underground contains lot of alkali and acid contents, which is not good for drinking, but people drink. I am talking about the outskirts of the city. But this situation will change, because as I said, the urbanization and industrialization is occurring in Solapur on a higher extent. So you see that in 2020 there will be around 260 million liters of water every day is required by the city. Out of that, 200 million liters will be only supplied by the surface water. So you have to be forcefully dependent on the 69 million liters of water which are underground, and that is very dangerous. So this is a solution. This is a probabilistic view what we are talking about to the municipal corporation, that start cleaning or start treating the groundwater, recharge it, start treating the groundwater, because it is what it might be needed in the near future. So this is what we are talking about, the water quality. The water quality supplied to your house is perfectly fine, but the water quality which is in underground or groundwater quality is bad. This is what the present situation. The possible reason might be the effluents are directly left, because these industries are very situated just near the border of the corporation. So the effluents have been directly going into the water, contaminating it, one reason. There might be another reason which might be the most, like if you do a more research on that, and you can calculate the second reason out of that.
Can I ask?
Sure.
The cultivation of cotton is nearby, near the area, the cultivation of cotton. I mean, the agricultural part, not the factory. I mean, the first part is near the Solapur. Is near the area.
Yes.
The cultivation.
Yes.
Because usually because they treat they cultivate with too many dangerous things.
That is that will be my second slide. Yes.
It comes in the ground in the water.
Yes.
Is near Solapur the cultivation of cotton.
Yes. I will talk about that. That is the second slide. After this, I am talking on that question what you have put up. So I'll be very specifically directly going to your point. I think we agree on our ideas are same. So let's talk about that.
Yeah.
So directly to our statement of that, what I say, Solapur comes under a dry zone. So water scarcity is very high during summers or many other regions. So people have started using this industrial wastewater for agriculture.
Yes.
But if you start using industrial wastewater for agriculture, what will happen? It will create a toxicity. It will degrade the land. You are working on food security, you might be knowing much more than me. But this is what is the peculiar syndrome of the district or the places or people staying very near to the industry. As I said, the water is coming free, so they feel that it's a good water, they directly use it for the agriculture, and that creates a problem. But the research was conducted with the people across Solapur. They said that 20% of that effluent is very good.
Yeah.
It says that 20% of that effluent dilution has rich content of nitrogen, and that's very good for the crops.
Yeah.
So they said that you cannot use 100%. You cannot use 100%. So definitely you have to go with the 20% of dilution. So I hope I answered your
Yes.
answered your question. So this is what is a peculiar agricultural pattern of.
But all these are still suggestions. So it's not being done, but the research has been conducted, and that's what again you put as conclusions from the study to indicate that these things need to be done by the district.
Oh, yes.
No, I'll also say some good points also.
Oh, yes.
Very important thing.
I'm going to start a campaign against noise pollution in London.
Yeah.
I'm going deaf with the noise in London. Anyway, when you live and work and live quite centrally, in recent months it's getting worse. Anyway.
So what is noise? Noise is unpleasant and unwanted sound. That is what the definition of noise comes. And noise has a characteristics of three factors: intensity, duration, and frequency. The more the intensity, it will hammer more pressure on your ears. So that creates noise pollution.
The brain as well.
Yeah, sure. The pressure has been created from everywhere. So that creates the problem of noise. I said ambient air quality at Solapur has been doing some monitoring of noise at peculiar points within the city. But industrial noise pollutions, any hardly study has been found, because there is lot of noise, there are no noise absorbing technologies which has been seen. So a huge amount of noise which has been developed within the industry. Also the power looms make lot of noise. You should listen to some of the power looms. It makes lot of noise, and they don't have earplugs or something. That kind of activities is not been seen. So such activities, a combination of both indoor as well as the outdoor noise pollution should be taken care. This is what is the problem right now.
And this is for the whole population of the city, not simply the workers in the industry.
No, I am talking about the whole city.
Okay.
But as I said, there are two centers which are measuring them because of the pollution effect higher in the Solapur district. They are trying to measure in terms of decimals, and if decimal is greater, then they provide some solutions to the RTO, that is road transport, to provide them with some norms which can reduce the noise. But industrial noise pollution, zero. Not only in Solapur, but in India, I was about to found only one case study where it talks in terms with IIT Bombay. When I was just seeing it across, they had done a small study on that. So there is a huge amount of research which can work in terms of noise. You might be knowing wetlands. Talking about, I move to my second point after environmental impact indicators. I move to my second point called land and agriculture. What is a wetland? Wetland is a temporary or a permanent pasture of land which is accumulated with water. It provides, I have just given you a glimpse of how it looks, a small pond or a shallow pond which is formed in rainy season, goes off, and comes in summer season and goes off. So that's a wetland. Wetland provides a good habitat for many species across. It sometimes provides water to the agricultural pattern. But GIS, Geographical Information Systems, and ISRO, Indian Space Research Organization, took a study of conducting a wetland atlas map. And from 12 years, they found that it has doubled. In Solapur, it says that wetlands have doubled. Nearly from 24,000, they have become to 45,000 hectares. So is this a good point or a bad point? That is what we are again creating that, because when the water is coming more, there are small pastures which are forming. It creates good impact on the species but a bad impact on the agricultural pattern, because the cropping pattern is not suited to such kind of pastures. So this is one of the key findings what we found in terms of land and agriculture, specifically to the wetlands.
Changing the property of the land, so they're having to change the cropping patterns, use different crops, and so that complicates the whole situation.
And
Same in Europe, because they subsidize particular trees or whatever, or crops, and so people working in the agriculture
move.
the second point what we looked at,
knowing whether it's good or bad.
Yes.
Second point what we looked at, agriculture of Solapur is mainly rain fed. we are dependent majorly on rain, and you can see the variations of rain occurring. And the crop pattern, what is there in Solapur, starts with a jawar. We also have a sugarcane, we also have a paddy. But this is a ranking of crops what we have observed. Like jawar stands first. And this cropping pattern is under threat. Because of changing climatic conditions. And in Solapur there are two major food crops called, only grape wine is produced there, and a pomegranate, which is very rare in some parts of the world. Pomegranate is produced because of the very good climatic conditions, and we have a pomegranate research institute at Solapur University which is doing excellent work into that. But because, as you say, grape is a very climatically affected crop. If something little bit occurs, it dies. And because of this, there are a lot of funguses which are growing on the grapes because of the climatic conditions, because the moisture is more, the dryness is less. So because of that, the fungus are coming up on a major aspect, and pest control management is becoming a major issue now. Earlier it was only depending on the two crops which are exported across the globe, but now because of this effect, there is a pest control management which people are thinking of doing it. So this is again a threat, might be a possibly a change of climate which is impacting land, agriculture. We talked about wetlands also. Coming to one more thing called socioeconomic. Socioeconomic, if you see that Solapur, these are the eyes of Solapur. We can see a London eye from our LAC lab, but this is like 12 to 15 Solapur eyes which are erected every a year on a celebration of a fair which is conducted somewhere for 15 days. So large, huge amount of fair where people come and celebrate together. That is called Gadda Fair. And coming down to the economic part, 86% of city of the district comes under low or medium development, and only 14% is supposed to be developed. Means what? If something happens to the 18%, this 14% will also get affected. Overall, all the 100% people will definitely get affected if a small change in economic conditions do occur, like a cropping pattern, agricultural pattern, anything happens, or textile sector, something happens, this all people will get affected. So what we did to check out this, we did some pilot studies for health and safety for the workers. We did it for a pilot study for 4 industries, textile industries within the Solapur, and we started collecting the data on terms of how is their health, are they taking good care of their health, and we did a small survey out of that, and the results showed a different, like we did an eye testing, we did an hand meter test. Hand meter test is very nice. Like suppose if you are weaving something, you use only right hand, your left hand is not at all used. So your right hand becomes strong, your left hand becomes weak. So the people who are working for 15 years weaving that, the right hand is very strong. Say do all the activities by right hand, and eventually this hand was never been used on a larger extent, so it is weaker. So that is what we picked up from that. And there was a respiratory, we took up some respiratory analysis also. We tried to ask them to do eye testing and other thing. It was seen that people who are working for 20 years in the textile industry have deteriorated their eyesight because of, I said, improper or possible pollutions which are occurring in the industry. Yes, there are some industries which are helping them towards on the other side, but a small or medium scale industry which does not have any economy to look for the workers is not looking on that larger base. So health and safety aspect for the industry has been not looked out. So this also is a problem for the workers. Now what is the problem for the citizens? All the respiratory diseases have been increasing. This is the data taken from the government hospital from 2007, and we did a survey from 2008, 2009, 2010. The pulmonary tuberculosis, then respiratory syndromes, everything is increasing. If you see the last figure, it should decrease, but there is an increase even this year. So there is a huge need which has to be taken care for human health in terms of indoor for workers as well as for the citizens. Nobody is safe. Nobody is safe. Either the people who are working within the industry or the people who are outside working for their normal life.
I had a question.
Yes, sure.
These figures, what's the proportion, like how many people would be from the community and how many would be workers?
No, this is a general hospital data.
Right.
This is a general hospital, civil hospital general data what we have taken, where people go admit themselves and other things. When you are talking about the workers as well as the citizens, this being a free hospital, so maximum people who are coming might be the people who are not willing to go outside. So it comes under the 86% band. 14% band we can just keep it away, but 86% of the citizens do come. So this data consists of both the workers as well as the citizen, normal citizen. Very important part, a very nice slide, and now we'll talk about a little bit of biodiversity. Okay, if you see, this is a great Indian bustard, which is a rare species. We have made a post stamp out of this, and we have a bird sanctuary at Solapur, because these birds migrate and lay eggs in Solapur, which is just 10 kilometers away, called a place called Nanads. So this is the great Indian bustard. Very few Indian bustards are available across the globe. International, the BBC, if you just check your BBC website, BBC has put great Indian bustard as one of the rare birds. And there is a good shooting of Solapur, that film has been posted there on the BBC website. So I was just seeing yesterday, I was shocked, like I thought like this I should mention, because the great Indian bustard is a great rare bird which is been put up by many governments. And international, I'll just put up the name for that. I just will tell you the name which has put that also in a rare species bird. International Union for Conservation of Nature, IUCN. I'll be showing the second slide. IUCN has put this as rare species. 1970s, a bird sanctuary was started in Solapur. Conservation Act started doing in Solapur. But from that till now, the proportion of birds is coming down because of encroachment, because of anthroponic emissions, or because of cattle's feeding into that, and many more. So one might be the possible industrial which are very situated little bit near to it. So this is what the problem is, the great Indian bustards. You have a look at YouTube, you will get a lot of things on YouTube. Second, we move down the second bio. I am only talking about the main prominent species which are to be seen. The second, if you see that is a Solapurian fox or a wolf. Yeah, it's a wolf. This wolf has become rare. Now University of Purdue, Yale and the vice cousin have provided a compensation for this. For example, if it attacks on somebody, you will be getting a compensation. But till now, rarely it is found that anybody has claimed for the compensation. So the protecting policies are there, but these numbers have come down. The possible reasons might be one of the pollution effect which is occurring, and everybody stays within the harmony. This is a bird sanctuary, there also comes a fox and everything. One good thing, I talked about many bad things. Now good thing, fresh water, as I said, Solapur is in supplied, surface water is been supplied from three things. One is Ujni Dam, which is like 50 to 60 kilometers. Second is Ikruk Tank, which is very near to it. And the third is Bhima Basin. I am talking about the names of the water bodies from where we get it to Solapur. So a study conducted in 2009, they did a fish diversity study within the basin. That was their geological way of doing it. So they did it on the basin, and they found that there are 13 more species of fishes which are prominent there. So the water quality is very nice to be drinkable. So the basins have not been affected because they are away, but possibly if this situation goes on and on, it might get also affected. So the good reason is that the drinking water, surface drinking water, has not been affected at one of the basins called Bhima. So good point. And yes, taking from this good points, is there a possible solution for this? We'll just try. Whatever I have mentioned, I put up into this. I talked about how Great Indian Bustard is one of the rarest species put up by the. I talked about wolf, how it has been compensation allowances have been given, but rarely somebody has gained. Might be Solapur people should also not knowing there is a compensation allowance if a wolf attacks, and you can kill a wolf only in terms of self-defense. So there are some rules which have been mentioned, which have been put up. Oh, after a huge amount of problems, huge amount of research, huge amount of thinking, so is there a possible solution? Is there a business case study? Exist? Yes, do exist. ICT is information and communication technology. It consists of computers, it consists of radios, it consists of TV, media, then your networking, everything connected together. It's like sitting on a LAN, you are with Google, you can check Google at any time. So that is there. Now how I can link ICT to textiles to solve this problem? As I said, the clusters are small, there are small industries, there are medium industries, and there is no large as for the large power loom industry in Solapur. So there can be a linkage for ICT and textile. How ICT helps in textile? For example, if you want to choose a coloring of a house, you choose a proper color before taking it and painting it on a computer. So coloring structure of your dresses, what you are wearing, can be done on that. Design part can be done. So this is what computer graphics can be put up. It can be used for proper logistics. It can be informed to another people to connect to each other. So putting all this together, we formulate a module called a sustainable integrated model of networking. So this is the solution. I will spend some time on this presentation on this part to explain it to you how it works. So as I mentioned, there are 3 prominent industrial sectors developed by the state of Maharashtra called MIDC, that is Maharashtra Maharashtra Industrial Development Corporations, at 3 places in Solapur. And these are the clusters of industries. I have taken both the small scale textile industries, medium textile industries, and other industries which are staying next to them. So the cluster is here, cluster is here, cluster is here, and now the Solapur University I was talking about is formed new. It's 2005, newly born. It has like 1,000 technical students who are doing their bachelors every year. So there is a huge knowledge base which can be utilized from technical and management and others. So that can be taken from Solapur University, putting up that together, and municipal corporation. Every district has a municipal corporation that can be linked with Solapur University through a center of excellence and innovation center at the base station. So when they get connected everywhere, so whatever the problems like I am discussing today at the LSE, this problem can be posted on their website. This can disseminate. Yes, it might be in a regional language to put up more elaborately on the other side. So such activities can be done, and this problem can be eradicated from the root. Because taking that into consideration, as you put up some points like, yes, definitely American and European countries do have a technologies. So that technology information is not available to the people, or might be available, might be, but they are not interested. So such kind of things we are putting up together. Might be Dr. Ruth also said that this model can be workable. We'll be having little bit more collaborations also. So this will help in solving the problem on a larger base. So if you have any questions on this, you please let me know so that I can move to the discussion part after this. Sure.
The machinery, is there any possibility that you can produce yourselves the textile machinery?
Yes.
Yes.
Therefore, I said this can see the local problems. For example, putting a European machine to our cannot be a wise advice, because they might not require a huge machine. There might be only a small machine which only produces small part of it. So that local engineering base, knowledge base is there. We are not involving any other stakeholders here. They are the faculties who are with the universities. They are the industrialists who are working with the textile for last 40 to 50 years, and the municipal corporations. These projects can be taken and worked within the house to solve the problem. Okay, moving out to the part of discussions. These are some of the discussions what you talked about. Why can't we use a cleaner technology approach? Why can't we use? Definitely we can use, but people should be educated for that, because they are doing it for a longer versions. But now the European market, the UK is also coming up. I was talking to my friend and he said that UK market is also coming on the capability based model. Means when we require, then that time only we'll hire. So now the taking aspect has gone, hiring aspect has taken on a larger base. So yes, cleaner technology can be put up. This can be integrated in a district plan with different synergies between the municipal corporations, the textile holders and the university. And there are some measures what we look towards for the discussion from this. I have kept it as a discussion, that was my finding. I am also looking from yours what might be the possible findings out of that. There is one thing what we called as a centralized effluent plant. Yes, it has been there, where we treat every industrial waste and do it, but proper maintenance is missing. And strict environmental law, as in UK we have a strict environmental law. Such environmental laws are not possibly followed, but can be followed by proper subsidies given to the small scale and medium industries. So this is what we put up from our basis of discussions. What we felt, like I felt from my things, I put up one another the other, and trying to put up a framework to solve the problem. And I was just missing out, like there is one called CSR reporting, corporate social responsibility reporting. It's totally missing. Like I was just reading, and the only industry which I have read from my side was Lakshmi Pumps, which is doing a small one-page report on corporate social responsibility at Solapur. But the textile industries or any other industries are not doing this. This is one of the important method, but I don't know, people should be not knowing it, or they don't know how to do it. So such kind of information can be disseminated. Definitely when one industry produces a social responsibility reporting, what happens that they are looked high, so automatically other industries might follow them. So that is what the technique is missing, which can be put up into the put up as a discussion. Coming to the part of conclusion, where we looked at different aspects. We looked at different aspects on saying what are the impact indicators, how to deal with them, and how to come out with the possible solution. But research and field demonstration is very much lacking. I might be the only one who is presenting the Solapur city for the first time at the London School of Economics and Political Science. So such kind of research and field demonstrations should be done by the faculties themselves sitting there, or the industrialist people who are sitting there, to help the city to develop. A city can be developed only by the help of the citizens. So this is what we put up, a small field presentations, like a project given to a graduate student to take up and then publish it outside, and then this can become a good pilot study which can be incorporated elsewhere. And what we are looking as integrated sustainable model, what we have put up, should also become a part of the district planning development plan, which can help to solve the problem and which can eradicate whatever the effects it is causing towards the environment. Always it is said that mitigation adaptation process. Mitigation is reduction, adaptation is you put up some things to adapt and change. So that procedure should be adopted and mitigate the problem mentioned. Coming to my last slide, where that bell is ringing, I say that it's a stopping time for me. So coming to the conclusion, I put up prominent investment initiatives, like LAC has given me a good chance to speak about. Such initiatives will grow, such initiatives will help. We, a group of 5 to 6 people from Indian Institute of Science and IIM, are trying to come up and try to provide an entrepreneurship development cell for small and medium scale. that can be also be a good initiative to help the problem. So good support from policymakers, good support from the state, good support from the district, and good support from the university will make this happen, and this can be converted to Jamshedpur. This was again idea given by Dr. Ruth to me. Why can't it can be converted to a Jamshedpur? Jamshedpur is one of the cities in Jharkhand where the Tata group formed it. And the second state or second part is Jamnagar, Reliance company. Reliance company made a huge on a very barren land. I was listening to Nita Ambani's talk when she was here at the LSE, at the Asian Research Center, when she was talking, and they have developed it. Okay, these are the macro levels. Coming to the micro level, this is Anna Hazare's village. Anna Hazare is a person from a prominent socialist who has developed a self-sustainable village called Ralegaon Siddhi. So such kind of effect can only be possible through proper channel, proper way of collaboration, proper way of coordination. Now there exists a business case. Yes, these are the problems. If we try to provide a solutions to small and medium scale industries in providing a proper certification for their product so that they can be exported in the European market, the first thing, or the UK market, the second thing, or the US. So these products normally are exported, but if exported with a tag, it can help, and the people like me or people like anybody from us can provide a good possible solution to this. So this is what I say as looking forward towards the problem, coming out with a solution, and what is the next step we are going to implement. Any questions?
Comments?
Before that, my acknowledgement. My acknowledgement starts with Subir Chaudhary Fellowship, who has given me this fellowship for being here and presenting, Asia Research Center, and this work would not have been completed without the guidance of Dr. Ruth. She has spent, I think, a lot of hours with me putting up some points together and putting up many things together. Thanks to Keith and Kevin, they supported me with my fellowship, which was kept for 1.5 months, and finally it came across. I would like to thank my parents, my family, friends, and not last but the least, the persons who helped me to do this. The institute called Walchand Institute of Technology, Solapur, the management committee, Arvind Joshi, Dr. Ranjit Gandhi, and Professor Sashikant Halkude, who really helped me to take up this initiative at a small place. Thinking higher is a great initiative by them. They provided me 3 months. I came here, and this is my ending time, and we present. And this case study I am taking back to my home so that we start implementing this on a larger scale. And finally is thank you from my side
Thanks
to
to
you.
all of you for coming today, and thank you, Rahul. That was very interesting.